Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Pauline Berzosa. The approval and trust ratings of our top leaders declined based on the latest Pulse Asia survey. President Bongbong Marcos registered a 48% approval rating in the November survey, which is 2% lower than what he had last September. His trust rating also dropped from 48 to 47%. Meanwhile, Vice President Sara Duterte's approval rating slid by a whopping 10 points from 60% to 50%. Her trust rating also dipped from 61% to 49%. The survey was conducted amid VP Sara's outbursts against the Marcos administration. Now, as for our top lawmakers, Senate President Cheese Escudero's numbers declined by as much as 7 points. Meanwhile, House Speaker Martin Romualdez got the lowest approval and trust ratings among the leaders in the survey. Pulse Asia President Ronald Holmes says the controversy surrounding confidential funds contributed to the drop in trust and approval ratings of Vice President Sara Duterte. Here's an excerpt from his interview on The Big Story.
What do the numbers say about that time period?
Well, basically, this is something quite distinct, for the top four officials to see a dip, not just a dip, but really that their trust and approval ratings, at least for three of the four, have gone below a majority. We have not seen this in the two prior administrations. That's the administration of Duterte and Noynoy Aquino. At the same time, during their term, the president, the vice president, the Speaker of the House then, or more specifically, the President and the Vice President were enjoying significant majority approval and trust. Compare this to the President and the Vice President right now. Both of them don't have majority approval and trust ratings.
Hoy, tama po ba na ayaw ng mga Pilipino nag-aaway ang mga politiko natin? Does this mean that the longer that they go with this conflict, the numbers will also head down south?
Well, basically, I think it applies to all political systems. The public would not want their top officials to be bickering or in conflict because it deflects attention away from addressing major concerns. So it's not just us Filipinos. I think in many surveys in other countries, when there's a gridlock between the executive and the legislative, for example, there's a tendency for the people to withdraw their approval or trust towards both institutions.
Pero sir, ang napansin ko dito, of course, lahat ng top officials natin, bumaba yung kanilang approval and trust rating. Pero kapansin-pansin din yung numbers ng mga undecided. Malaki rin. How should we interpret this?
Well, ang indecision pinangmalaki sa Speaker of the House at pangkaraniwan yan, no? Kasi yung Speaker of the House ay miyembro ng kapulungan ng mga kinatawan, ini-elect yan sa isang distrito, yung distrito na yung limitado, hindi yan pambansang posisyon. Ay hindi yan nahalal sa buong bansa. Ibig sabihin, hindi nationally prominent yung Speaker of the House. Kaya hindi siya masyadong kilala at dahil hindi siya masyadong kilala, maaring mas maraming hindi masabi kung aprobado o hindi aprobado o kung nagtitiwala o hindi nagtitiwala sa kanya. Pero doon sa presidente, vice-presidente at doon sa Senate President, makikita natin na yung indecision hindi ganun kalaki. No? Maaring sabihin na 2 sa 10, pero parang inilipat lang yung nag-a-approve dati, yung nagtitiwala, lumilipat na sandali lang. Hindi ko na masabi ngayon kung nagtitiwala ako o hindi nagtitiwala sa inyo.
Now, in other news, the Commission on Audit, or COA, has called out the Education Department for paying over 1 billion pesos for an unusable digital infrastructure project. COA reported that DepEd, under former Chief Leonor Briones, paid 1 billion pesos to the contractor behind the failed project called DepEd Enterprise Resource Planning System, or DERPS. The digital project was meant to automate and connect all of DepEd's systems so that data would be available at a click of a button. However, this project was not finished, but DepEd still paid the contractors. COA also noted that the contractors had red flags, such as history of delays in the majority of its ongoing projects. DepEd said they proceeded with payments because the project's first and second phase were happening at the same time. But state auditors were not satisfied with this response and called the project a waste of funds. We'll be back with more stories after this break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Pauline Verzosa. Let's now take a quick look at today's other headlines. In the Philippine Star, the Philippine military plans to acquire the U.S. Typhoon missile system to protect the country's maritime interests. Army Chief Roy Galido says they see its feasibility and its functionality in our concept of archipelagic defense implementation. And in business world, the Philippine Competition Commission approves the $3.3 billion landmark deal among three energy giants. This is the joint acquisition of two gas-fired power plants and an LNG terminal by Meralco Powergen, Therma Nat Gas Power, and San Miguel Global Power. China says a reported plan by the Philippines to deploy mid-range missiles is a provocative move. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning says it is, quote, extremely irresponsible to the people of the region. Beijing urges the Philippines to heed the calls of regional countries and remove the system as soon as possible. The United States deployed its Typhoon mid-range missile system in the Philippines back in April, and troops from both countries have been training jointly for the potential use of the heavy weaponry. Meantime, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump hinted at keeping the popular mobile app TikTok in the U.S. Trump told conservative supporters in an event that he is going to have to start thinking about TikTok. But he added, and we quote, "Maybe we gotta keep this sucker around for a little while." TikTok has until January 19 to sell its Chinese parent company ByteDance to an American business, or it will be banned in the U.S. ByteDance previously rejected this law and brought its case to the Supreme Court. Isinusulong ng isang non-government organization ang tinatawag nilang tactical urbanism para solusyonan ang pagsikip ng mga daan. Pero ano nga ba ito at paano nito natutulungan ang pagpapaluwag ng ating mga kalsada? Para bigyan ng mukha ang balita, Mobile Journal, Mary Mon Reyes.
Habang lumilipas ang panahon, pasikip na ng pasikip ang mga kalsada dahil sa pagtalamak ng mga sasakyan. Pero may isang proyektong isinasagawa sa bansa upang maresolba ito. Starting off sa Maginhawa Street QC.
Makulay na designated pedestrian at cyclist lane, one-way street, at mas kaunting pumaparada sa kalsada. Ito ang Spark Project na bahagi ng Tactical Urbanism ng Institute for Climate and Sustainable Cities. Katuwang nila rito ang advocates, mga volunteer mula sa Maginhawa Food Community, kasama ang Quezon City LGU. Tactical Urbanism ang tawag sa mga proyekto o prosesong isinasagawa na low cost at short term para sa pag-improve at ikagaganda ng mga komunidad. Nais ng Spark Project na ma-promote ang active food transport, lalo na raw sa commercialized areas sa bansa.
Sa Japan nga po, sa Vietnam, even in Bangkok, nakita natin na very touristy areas po. Marami tao maglalakad nasa kalsada. What we also want to promote here is to lessen the dependence on cars. If we are able to shift po yung behavior ng tao when it comes to traveling, we essentially avoid more GHG emissions.
Aminado sila, may iba-ibang opinyon nang lumalabas sa kanilang ginagawa, lalo sa pagbawas sa street parking at daloy ng trapiko.
Sa mga nakakaunawa, okay po sa kanila yung mga sa umaga, yung mga nagbabike, mga nagja-jogging. Yung iba naman po sa mga establishment para permiso sa kanila kasi may mga customer sila na wala mapark.
Mas okay to ma'am, colorful, tsaka maganda, klaro talaga.
Sa loob ng 3 buwan mula Nobyembre hanggang Pebrero, oobserbahan nila ang efficiency at efficacy ng tactical urbanism base sa unang proyekto. Plano rin itong ipatupad sa Pasig sa 2025. Lahat ng datos na makukuha nila mula sa mga tactical urbanism projects ay kanilang pagsasamahin at ipepresenta sa otoridad para sa posibleng ipamalakad na national policy na makatutulong sa buong bansa.
Mag-start po tayo sa maliliit na proyekto para po makapag-test out tayo at makapag-pilot po para po maka-inform tayo sa intended na long-term change na gusto natin mangyari.
If it's executed properly, I think everyone would benefit, the residents, even business owners. If you create a safe space for everyone, for people to walk with their pets, with their kids, and then yung mga bikers, of course, people would go out. As the people flock sa isang lugar, nagbo-boom talaga yung economy.
Malayo pa raw ang lalakbayin ng bansa upang maatim ang full cycle, climate at pedestrian-friendly environment. Pero posible ito kung mag-i-initiate ang lahat para sa pagbabago, one street at a time. Mobile journalist Mary Mon Reyes po, hatid ang mukha ng balita.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Pauline Verzosa. We are One News.